Hi everybody and welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're gonna build a BAC111 from Airfix on scale 144. So I purchased this kit on the eBay and it came in a bag, so I don't have anything else beside the kit in that plastic bag. So we're gonna open the kit and see how does it look. And so that kit was made most probably in the time of the aircraft. I still have that old notice for missing parts or the modeler clubs of Airfix, and I can see that it's a very old document, so probably was done maybe in the 60s or something. Maybe we can see, yeah, 1964, that's the date inside of the kit. So it's a very old kit, a very basic kit indeed. So what I will do is I will assemble it. We can see that the nose is not correct. I will have to reshape the nose. I will most probably fill in all the windows like I normally do, but apparently I have some windows, some passenger windows, so I will be filling them in, and then I'll be able to build the kit. So the fuselage is in two halves. The panel lines are outside, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of rescribing work before I start the kit. The plastic is in a medium gray color. It will require some weight on the front. As you can see, it comes out with the doors who are missing, so I'll have to put the doors, the cargo doors as well, and the passenger, basically the escalator on the back of the aircraft. So that's for the fuselage. Now the wings are coming. I have two separated wings who will be reattached later on to the kit, and I have to say that of course it's also still very basic. I have all the panel lines who are also outside, so I'll have to do a lot of I believe a lot of rescribing work on that tiny little kit. I have both stabilizer, which are the more or less in the same way. The engines are also very basic, little half, some basic fan, and they don't really seems to be at the correct shape. But as you could see, I will bring it later on. I have some spares that I bought, some extra kit. We have the passenger windows as long as the windscreen as the clear part, and the landing lights were located basically, as you could see, in the main wings. Landing gear seems to be very basic with the wheels, set of wheels. As you can see, the nose landing gear is pretty basic. The main landing gear is there, so I hope. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, I think that was the main landing gear. I'm not sure that I have the nose landing gear, but it's not going to be a main issue. I'll be able to rebuild that most probably with my skills, and all the antennas as well are not at the correct shape. So it's a very old and very basic kit, but I'm sure we're going to be able to get some nice result. I don't have decals, but I have a stash of aftermarket decals, so I haven't decided which livery I'm going to make. So that will be the surprise toward the end of the kit. But if you're watching the video, you already which basically kit I choose. So what I did is I purchased aftermarket engines on Welsh Models website. You can buy those engines, and of course those engines are at the correct shape and they are pretty well detailed. So I'm gonna have to rebuild those engines, and then I'll be able to give a little bit more reality to that little kit. So I hope we're gonna get some nice result. Pretty sure we will. But let's start building, and enough of talking. So we're gonna start this build by preparing our fuselage. So initially we're gonna prepare the doors and the cargo doors and windows, and we're gonna
fit them on in the fuselage, and then we're gonna let the glue dry. So while the glue is curing, we're gonna prepare our engines. So for this, I bought some aftermarket resin parts, and for this I wanted to have a little bit more. I have to say that the engines provided by Airfix were not up to my standard, and I wanted to have an easier way to and a better result. So what I have as well, as you can see, I'm at the moment removing the engine pylon, as those extra parts were unable to fit directly on the fuselage. Then what we are doing now, we are rescribing the panel lines. So for this, I use normally initially a razor blade, a saw razor blade, and then a rescribing tool. Now we're gonna add some modeling paste as a ballast, and that will avoid to have the aircraft sitting on its tail. Then we're gonna be able to close the cockpit, of course, close the fuselage. Gonna put some clamps and let it dry for a little bit. When the glue would have dried, we're gonna fill all the gaps with some putty. And as you can see, I'm also filling up the windows, as I'm gonna use some decals for the windows and the cockpit windows. So we're gonna put the cockpit windscreen in the models, and then I saw that there were some gaps already appearing, so I'm gonna close all those gaps before I'm gonna sand it down, the first layers, as I want to avoid. I'm gonna do everything in one shot. That will avoid me to do some more work. As you can see now, I'm adding a lot of putty on the nose, and this is because the nose is not at the correct shape. The nose of the Airfix model is extremely round, and which is not the case of the BAC111. So what you have to do is, I added a lot of putty through the whole build to be able to get a proper shape, and I was doing that by myself. I didn't have any kit or extra kit or aftermarket kits. So we're going to fix the wings now. We're going to put them together. There are some wing fairing. We could have removed them and rebuilt some news, because those ones are a little bit too thick. But for this build, I did not really focus on that part. I might do it on the later models, on the BAC111. So we're gonna let now the glue dry, and of course I'm gonna remove the extra putty that I put on those engines, those resin engines. As you can see, there is a lot of extra work on that kit for the BAC111. I have to say that when you want to get some good result, the shape of those Airfix models are not always up to the good standard, and you also have a lot of extra work to get a very decent result. Those are because this is done because the mold are quite old. They were made some in the 50s or in the 70s. And of course the technology has well improved since those days, but at least now with a little bit of time and patience and some good diagram, you can get a very decent result. So now you can see that I'm trying to remove the extra putty very carefully as I'm trying to get the proper shape for that nose. As you can see now, I'm correcting for the third or the fourth time the nose on that BAC111, as I'm really trying to get the correct shape, and I had to re-add on a regular basis. Sometimes you have also some wrinkle when the putty is drying out, and of course you have to remove, add some more putty, fill up all those gaps and come back on a regular basis to make sure that you get the proper result. We are now going to move toward the final assembly of that BAC111. So we're going to glue the wings together and of course the horizontal stabilizer. And then we will fill all the gaps together with some white Tamiya putty. So I'll do that initially on the wings, and then I'm going to move on to the horizontal stabilizer and we're going to let it cure, and of course we're going to remove the extra filling. Another thing missing on that build was the APU exhaust. It doesn't come with. So as you can see, I find some sprue where I had the proper dimension, and then I drill a hole in the middle, and then I will cut it at the correct dimension, and then I will add this on the tail of the aircraft, as this is where the APU exhaust of the BAC111 is. Then we will have to do some last final fiddling and adjustments, and I will have to add a little bit of putty again to get the correct shape, and then we will be able to have our BAC111 at the correct shape. It's now time for the paint booth, so I will use my regular mix of metallic colors and grey, and I will paint basically the engines and the intakes initially, and I will use that as a sort of primer. Then I will paint the leading edge and the anti-ice system of the aircraft and the cowl anti-ice. Following this, I will be able to paint the engine color of a metallic color as it used to be originally, and I will add a little bit of exhaust color to try to have that yellow metal burn on the color of the engines, on the side of the engines, which I was using those colors basically when I checked all the pictures I had. Following this, we will be able to move on, and we're going to use a light gray color for the horizontal stabilizer, the belly of the aircraft and the wings. We are now painting the white coat on the upper surface of that BAC111, and that goes, I'm using a white, glossy white Tamiya paint. What you can see here is I had to do some adjustment. I realized that the lines were not correct, so I had tried to do some more mask to correct basically that little error that I made previously. While the paint is drying for that BAC111, we're going to start working on the undercarriage. So initially I will paint the wheels with a metallic color, then we will add a matte black for the tires, and then we're going to build them on to the mod. So we're gonna start decaling the aircraft. To get that livery of Quebecair, I use a Boat Decal. I think those decals are 10 or 15 years old. To make sure that they would not break while I was applying them, I had a clear coat of varnish just to make sure and to give some more unity to the decals. And then of course I have to say that they were very soft to handle, so I was pretty happy about the final result. And as you can see, there is quite a little bit of fiddling, as there is lots of lines and parallel lines that we have to take care of. And this is the end result of that BAC111 on scale 144 by Airfix with the Quebecair livery. I hope you enjoyed that build with me. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you soon for another build review. Thank you for watching.